Happy birthday to me.
That was very forward of you.
So what are you doing with your day, Marty?
Well, basically I'm going to spend a lot of time drinking champagne and having a good time with my close friends, and I'm hopefully going to go for a game of snooker with some of my friends later on tonight.
Have you got lots of presents?
Well, I've had quite a few. Actually, this jacket as I speak right now, was given to me by a fan. Thank you very much. Her name's Dawn.
What about from the band? What did they buy you?
Oh, they got me the same thing they got me last year, and a different colour. Yeah. Absolutely nothing.
Now, you've got a new single out at the moment, Temptation. What's the story behind it?
Well, Temptation was inspired by such a heavy topic as CND, because the band are involved, and CND were honourable members, and just it's about CND. It touches on the topic of that, and also has innuendos towards Greenpeace.
When the big guns started shooting,
with their bullets of deception,
as the first line, and it's quite a bluesy song, and we actually done the video for it in Louisiana to try and match it up. It's quite strange for four Glaswegians to be singing such a song, but it comes from the heart. It's quite true, quite a good song.
What was it like going to New Orleans to make the video?
God damn!
Funky.
It was really inspirational, because you meet the sort of really weird characters, you know. They come up to you and go, "You got one little old bud there?" And you say, "Well, yes." And they just give you hundreds of presents, and it's southern hospitality, you know. It's full of pecan pie and blueberry pie and big brick house women.
Was it somewhere that you wanted to go because of its musical heritage?
Yes, I mean, I just love it. You know, when we were there, it was Mardi Gras, and there's so much blues involved. You find yourself, you can sing most of the names of the streets, because it's so inspirational to be there. There was festivals going on, such as the Mardi Gras, and we just had a really good time also when we were filming. And why we went to New Orleans, because we wanted to get an attitude that we could only get in the whole of the world.
Yes. We've actually been there before. We went to Memphis a year previous, and that's instilled within us the feeling to go back. And it was just perfect, because we know what it's like to be there. And the video, the song, everything, it's
amazing.
A whole entity.
Amazing.
It's like some champagne.
You had a dodgy flight.
Graham Clark. Just tell a story.
The story of the flight.
The flight.
Well, right, this is that right. We got into the plane. We were in the plane, and the plane took off, funny enough. And we were just about an hour away from the British coastline, and it decided to turn back.
Yeah, the navigation went down, and the guy just decided to go back and follow his tracks. So
we knew there was something wrong when they were cutting about with the oxygen mask, saying, "Don't be alarmed."
Could get me to a hospital.
I know.
What is it? A big building with windows and beds.
Now, in addition to everything else, you've been working on your new LP.
Yes.
Is it going to be a similar style, or are you going to change it at all?
Well, there's all different. What's so good about it is that there is different worlds to us. You know, we aren't just specifically a pop band or a soul band, or we do soul music or anything like that. You know, it's like we try to get as many different fields, touching as many types of music as possible, and whatever the song needs, we give it. So as we're maturing as people and musicians, so is our music. So there is certain themes. There's always going to be a continuity to it, a thread that's always running through, which is well-structured music, you know, with good melodies. I mean, that's what we're about. We're not like an image band. No, that's certainly I'm not. We'd like our personalities to shine, and the music speaks volumes. You can sit here blowing your trumpet all day. We're the best band, get the best singer in the world, damn tops, but at the end of the day, the music speaks volumes.
Are these new songs then?
There's a mixture of both. There's songs that were actually written 2 or 3 years ago, and at the time we were too young. We were only aged 18, 19, and we couldn't actually give the song what it wanted, you know, give it like a little piece of our heart. Whereas now we can return to these songs and give it what they need. And there's also a lot of new songs from Memphis even, because that influenced a lot, you know, once again, down south in America. And it's just, well, as Marty's saying, it's just a conglomerate of things. It's just, it's going to be country. No, it's jazz.
No, it's free jazz.
Free jazz.
Why did you go to Memphis?
We went to Memphis to learn something that no other producer could give us in the whole of the world. That was attitude. To teach us, how can you say, like, if you've never been in love, right, but you're singing about a song which is about a man who's seasoned, who has lived his life, and you want to be able to do the song with conviction, then he could put you into the pocket of the song, he could tell you about it. He's a 58-year-old man who has lived a life and could explain to us. Yeah. And it was very much a feel thing in Memphis. No, it wasn't a production, it wasn't very clinical. It was, as I said, it was a feel thing. We went over there to mature. as musicians, as people, and we went to Memphis to work with Willie Mitchell because there was no other person in the whole of the world could do that for
It
us.
says it on the album, perfection, I should say attitude is more important than perfection, and that's what Willie Mitchell taught us. He's a man who's not interested in machines or the pop business or what clothes you're wearing. It's down to the songs, whether it works on a piano, guitar and vocals. That's how you know a song is good.
Which songs did you work on with him?
We worked on basically most of the songs that's on Popped In, Sold Out, we actually did do with Willie Mitchell, and we're actually going to release them in the intermediate period of releasing a second album, just to show a different colour, if you like, of Wet Wet Wet. You know, it's very much a soul thing. It's really, you know, it's real Memphis strings, real horns, everything's done live. It's very soulful. But we just trying to get it out for our own pleasure and to let the people, the public, see a different colour to Wet Wet Wet.
How do you feel about your success so far? I mean, Angel Eyes was huge again everywhere in the world.
What the good...
I'll go
all right, I'm right.
I think what you're going to say is the good thing about it is when we first appeared on the scene, so to speak, our first two singles were very pop orientated, and we knew this ourselves, but it's not the only way to break. And Angel Eyes, what it did is it actually changed people's perception of us. People thought we're a bit of a throwaway pop band. Angel Eyes being more mature, being a real song, rather than, I don't know, it didn't have any production on it, it was just like very true again. And it took the audience, it actually gave us a new audience and took the younger audience with us as well. And it's a progression. It shows we can actually hold our head up high and feel a lot of respect for ourselves instead of being considered throwaway.
You know, it's so easy to be perceived as a mamby-pamby pop band, you know, not having any depth, because what's so good about Wet 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 is we get involved in every aspect of it, of this game we play, you know, from doing videos, writing our own video scripts, being involved, choosing our own photographer who will do, and you know, we go and have meetings with people who are going to work with us to see if they can contribute something to this, they can enhance whatever project they're working on. If it's, be it videos, can they contribute more to it? Because if they can't, then why should you pay them a ridiculous amount of money, and why should they even be there? That's why we produced a good part of a stunning debut album, Popped In, Sold Out. We got involved in most aspects of that.
The album sold over 1 million copies. Did that surprise you?
Obviously.
It blew my mind, man!
When we think back a year ago, the initial idea was to get into the top 70. That was that, and maybe the album would maybe peak at 40 and then disappear, and that'd be our starting block, and then the next album would progress and progress. And really, we've always wanted to have huge success, and it's happened, but we just never expected it to happen so fast. I think it's just because we blow away the opposition, so to speak. You know, although we don't think of them as opposition.
Can I say something here? I'm just going to cut him off there because let's face it, I mean, I've got something more important to say. The thing about Angel Eyes was that it did cross us over to an adult audience. A lot of the people within the media had perceived the band as being a pop band and said, okay, they've sold 250,000 albums, but as Tom touched on, that took us to an adult audience, you know, and increased our sales by 200%, you know, which was astronomical, because then we did get to the CD buyers and the album buyers, because that's ultimately what we are more interested in, you know, not to be perceived as just a fad band, because we want longevity, we want to be here, we want staying power. I think that's right.
The people we grew up listening to are still around today. They're still writing great songs and still performing, and that's really what we want to aim for. We want to be here in 10 years. We want someone aged 15 to pick up Popped In, Sold Out in 5 years' time and be inspired and go and start a band ourselves, because that's what happened to us. That's how we started.
The punk thing, you know, at the time, the Clash, you know, I mean, the Clash inspired this band no end, you know, the whole attitude that was behind that era. Not necessarily the dress sense, more the attitude was just lift up a guitar, plug in and just go, hell for leather. And now we've matured as people and musicians, and now you're seeing the fruits of our labour, which is Popped In, Sold Out, which has been good. So thank you for punk rock.
In addition to record sales, you've also been picking up a few awards.
Oh
BPI,
yes, aye.
BPI, yeah. One of the best things about it, we were in Amsterdam doing a TV show, and the director wanted to make us look like idiots. He wanted to have like little girls running around, and we refused, and it turned into a 3-hour argument. And eventually he said, you're like these big bands. He said, you can shake the hand of Gorbachev, but you cannot shake the hand of Bono. So at the BPI award, the whole band got up, walked over to U2's table, and we sat there and shook Bono's hand.
Oh, where's Gorbachev?
Where's Gorbachev?
Gorbachev, I should say.
He wasn't at the BPI awards, so I think that speaks volumes.
Too right, man.
What sort of attitude do you get from other bands?
Well, you know, I mean, I think a lot I say, right at the very beginning, a lot of people perceive this as a throwaway band.
Yeah.
And now the music speaks volumes. So when we meet other bands, we can hold our head up high, because at the end of the day, we're selling massive amounts of records, and our songs are standing.
Yeah.
And I think other bands can appreciate that. I mean, you might be able to down cries because I smile all the time. I take that guy, I hate him. But we do good music, and we can play live, and we're involved in everything.
There's a lot of other bands coming up that come from the same background as us, working class, punk started and whatever. The Christians, Black or whatever, and Danny Wilson as well, and they're writing great songs. I think it's just like, a lot of people are maturing now in their songwriting. They started the same time as us, and there's all these new bands that are appearing. It's been said before, but it's like the new wave, so to speak, you know, of songwriters.
Oh, even Black, not forgetting Black.
I did actually say that, yeah.
Did
All
you?
right, Colin.
Take care. You're beautiful.
Wishing I Was Lucky was your first hit single.
Yes.
Did you expect that to do as well?
Well, see, we were just shocked. All we wanted to do was to establish ourselves with the media. You know, be, if you like, to the unwashed. They could put a face to it. You know, we were very critically acclaimed by the press. You know, the press were always very well behind the band, saying this is a band with longevity, they're writing timeless songs. But we weren't releasing records, so it was like there was this big. Right at the very beginning, there was suddenly all this media were interested in the band, but there was no product. And what we wanted to get out of Wishing I Was Lucky was just to establish ourselves with the media again, you know, give them something to listen to. And when it actually got to number 6 in the British charts, we were like, oh my God. And you don't actually appreciate it until it starts to drop. Then you say, well, I got to number 6, that blew my mind.
Actually, because it was a success, it actually went against us because we were so happy. We were over the moon, and you saw it on the TV programmes like Top of the Pops, and that's why we also get put into the category of being a pop band, sort of throwaway, because we were just so happy.
But I think that was good from a point of view, Tom, because it was natural. You know, it was just how we were feeling at the time. I don't think I hate to see bands who walk on it's like that.
Take the crucifix off the wall.
I mean, they don't smile, there's no enjoyment about it. I mean, I think if you're having success, then ultimately within your body you're going to be feeling happy. And I think that's what's so good about us is there's no bars, we're not pretentious, we just like doing this naturally, what comes naturally. I mean, obviously talking in front of a camera isn't natural, but it's something that you do. It's just part and parcel of this job. I mean, it is a job, but it's a job that we love doing.
Just being yourself.
Just being yourself in front of the camera, having a wee glass of champagne, no problem. It's a problem.
Did it help your confidence working with Lionel Richie?
Oh, amazing. It was great because it was a great feeling because we'd been asked to go into Lionel Richie, because you don't get asked onto shows like that if you can't play live. You know, ultimately he's not going to be like that. Get a 2-bit band that's going to spoil his show, because in fact we weren't a support act, we were part of the show. So he wants someone good, so to be asked by Mr. Richie was phenomenal.
What was the other 3 people who have actually backed up Lionel Richie?
Well, there's Tina Turner,
Tina Turner,
the Porter Sisters,
Porter
and
Sisters.
Sheila A.
And the 4th one was Wet, Wet, Wet. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You're about to go back into Europe to tour again. Are you looking forward to that?
It's going to be very rock and roll. We're going to go and like do the back of the van stuff. You know, it's going to be that sort of thing, like driving 700 miles between one city and the next city.
You know, it isn't all linear jets and the comfy chairs for a Wet, Wet, Wet. You know, in a way, we're still keeping our 10 Regal bands. You know, we're still a 10 Regal band, because when you go to Europe,
That's a cigarette, by the way.
when you go to Europe, you're like, I mean, we were nothing. You know, we're nothing. We've still got to win these people over and work yourself, you know, to become established, which is so refreshing, because it's so easy to be like,
I'm a star.
a star.
Playing live for us is one of the most important things. When you record a record, the way you felt that day, it goes on the vinyl, and that's it. It's that way forevermore. It becomes timeless, if you like. But playing live, the song evolves, and 1 year on, Wishing I Was Lucky has now changed. You know, it's got more excitement. It's just like you mature. Yeah, you can add new lights and shades. So when we go to Europe, we're going to be playing live, and you're going to see the real Wet, 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 what it's all about.
I mean, it's great. It's great to be able to play live. There's so many. What, drink that? I mean, there's so many young bands out that have been produced to the Hulties. You know, that there is no songs there. So when they actually go out, for so when they go out on the road, there's just nothing there. There's no songs, and that's what we can do. We can play live. I think.
What about America? Is that somewhere that you're interested in?
Yes.
What about America? A lot of people have said that. What about America?
A lot of people have said that. You know.
What about America?
Good question. A lot of people have said that. We're signed with MCA in America, and there's a brand new label. It's kind of a subsidiary through it, which has only got 2 people. on it is Wet 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 and Elton John, and we hopefully there's going to be a big push, and we're going to be the golden boys, so to speak, and we're just looking forward to getting over to America and do some tour. There's talks about going on tour with Daryl Hall and John Oates, you know, we've got the Hall & Oates to support them, and that's basically what's planned for America. We're going to Japan. Oh, and we're doing a gig in Paris with the Temptations and Barry White, which will be an excellent show, you know.
There you go.
That's good.
That's our
so if you're in
plans.
Paris and you're watching this now, come and see the boys.
What other plans do you have for the rest of the year?
To get, to have, and to hold.
We've got a decision to make whether to put another single out. It depends what Temptation does, really. What do you think?
I don't know.
What do you think it should be?
What do you think?
Perhaps if you're riding the sales.
I'll tell you what, you're right. Answers on a postcard to Music Box.
Yeah.
Okay?
What should be the next single?
Because we don't know ourselves. Should we release another single? Should we have like 5 singles off the album?
Should it be the Memphis sessions? Should it be the
You know,
next
I mean,
album?
everything's up in the air. You just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do with myself. You know, it's like strange.
Well, all the best with everything. Enjoy your birthday.
All right,
Marty.
thank you very much, and thank you very much for having us on the show.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tom.